everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is September 17th, 2021, and Bitcoin is looking weak. We are getting rejected at we did get rejected at about 48,169, and we did have a failed breakout. And for those of you subscribed to the channel, you'll know that bearish behavior is characterized by failed breakouts, and bullish behavior is characterized by failed breakdowns. That's one of the characteristics. So in the immediate short term, we're bearish. Okay, that doesn't not mean we're not in the bull market, nor does it mean that we don't have more potential upside. Okay, and that's an important point to make. But just to be very clear, what happened? Let's zoom out a bit. We're on the 15-minute time frame, and that's for a reason. We'll go back to that in a second. So we were in this Wyckoff accumulation pattern. We broke out of it. And what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to get a sign of strength here. Basically, you're forming a bull pennant. And that's kind of what we did, but it was a bit sloppy. So if we go into the 30-minute time frame, I'm going to show you why I thought it was sloppy. So here, the market structure is such that you don't have a strong base. And while we were getting rejected off of this sort of line, which is diagonal, that's formed typically when you're forming a bull flag, or no, not a bull flag, a bull pennant. You're meant to hold a bottom, right? You're supposed to have a strong bottom, a well-defined bottom, and here we've sagged such that we didn't have good support right here, and that kind of let me know early on that, this may lead to a failed breakout, and that's okay because there's so much support on the downside. Okay, what are we looking at here? So once we went up, we went back down. So we're beginning a correction, and if you're subscribed to this channel, that every correction occurs as an ABC pattern. That's Elliott wave analysis. If you're not exactly sure what that is, look it up. But there's so many different types of ABC corrections. Most of them occur as a zigzag ABC correction. And I'm going to draw out what that looks like here. So we're right now, as we speak, on the B wave of the ABC correction. So here's what it looks like. See if I can find it. Here we go. So if you're in TradingView, it's one of the tools that you have. So the rejection happened at this point of control at $48,000. And here's your A wave. Here's your B wave that's almost complete. And then your C wave is going to be like something like that. And I believe that the C wave is going to end somewhere on this extended line. So remember, we had this line showing resistance, diagonal resistance, where Bitcoin was meant to form that bull pennant, and we get rejected to the top, failed breakout. We're pretty much going to come back to this line, find it as support for hopefully for people who are looking for upside price action, another run, another test up. But we are going to break slightly down back into our accumulation range, and that's fine because there is tons of support in this accumulation range. Look at this point of control right here. We may not even break down below it. This point of control is pretty much at 46.9, and that's basically saying there's a lot of support here. There's a lot of buying going on there. And how do we know that? Let's go back into an hourly time frame. You should see a lot of wicks, a lot of buying going on when we were there. Probably better in the 4-hourly time frame. Okay. Yeah. So you see the wicking here. Basically, you see that this is a strong sign of support. Once we're above it, once we're below it, it's a lot of resistance. So it's likely, given that we are in we're technically in a bull market, that we don't break below that point. What was it? 46.9, right? So we may the correction may complete itself there, like that. And from there, we basically get another test, another try at going to the upside. And if you look and you zoom out even more, you see that what we formed here is basically the first wave of an Elliott wave impulse, and this could be the second wave of the Elliott wave impulse. And the second wave is corrective, right? And that leads to the third wave, logically. And the third wave is what? It is, let's put the magnet on. The third wave is measured as being anywhere from the 1.618 to the 2 of the first wave. So you see how I did that? I pulled the Fibonacci extension tool from the top of the first wave to the bottom of the first wave, and see the 1.618 would be 51,667. The 2 would be 53,622. So anywhere between that, it could be at the 1.618, it could be at the 2. We have strong resistance at this purple box. I never sort of deleted that. So it's likely that we stop short of this purple box, maybe somewhere in between here, or maybe just at 1618, then start our fourth wave to have finally our fifth wave. So that's what I foresee with Bitcoin. We're still looking relatively healthy in the larger scheme of things, but in the immediate short term, we are breaking down and we're still correcting that 2 wave. So that's Bitcoin. Let's go into yesterday's trades. Yesterday, I said that I was looking to trade either FTM or Shiba Inu. And I said, I don't know which one I'm going to trade, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and see, once Bitcoin starts its move, which coin, which token has the most momentum. And that so happened to be Shiba Inu because of fundamental factors. It was listed on Coinbase or some other exchange, and so it really shot up. So that's what I traded. And you'll see that there was a lot of upside price action here with SHIB. I think we started all the way down here. Was it? Let's see. Yeah, we started all the way down here. We broke out, and we didn't start correcting anytime soon. Like we just broke out and then broke out, and finally now we're retracing. But that's basically what I traded on leverage yesterday, and that was a good trade, very profitable. FTM did okay. I was just monitoring it, but not as well. If you can see here, FTM, I had this diagonal with an alarm basically indicating when, letting me know when the breakout occurred. And the way I trade is I wait for the breakout and wait for the retest. On the SHIB trade, it was difficult to retest because there was so much momentum. The retest didn't come until a little after, but it probably would have been better to trade the breakout instead of the retest in that scenario. That's, sometimes why you have to look to modify your strategy or take everything case by case. But anyway, those are my rules for risk mitigation, and risk mitigation is pretty much the name of the game when you're trading, especially on leverage. Okay, but just a reminder for those of you who may not be following the channel, may not be subscribed, the way to success in this whole crypto thing is to buy and hold. That's it. You buy good things that have really good fundamentals, are likely to go up. You stake them or you just hold them and you wait and you try to sell somewhere near the top, and that's it. And that's the way to really make life-changing wealth. Everything else is just to supplement that. that activity. So trading it would be a way to supplement that activity. Anyway, I digress. You did see FTM go up and again also have a failed breakout and went all the way to 139. So that was, let's see, from the breakout around 8%, not bad, but it got rejected because Bitcoin got rejected. And again, that's a reminder that if Bitcoin doesn't comply, more than likely your favorite coin isn't going to do so either. So those were the trades. If Bitcoin does bounce off of that support band that we have at 46,947, what would I look to trade? Again, I would use the same technique. I would basically have a few things shortlisted based off of what they've done in the past. I know for a fact Link is distressed. Chainlink is very distressed. Let's zoom out really quickly. You see this accumulation range, just like we saw with Bitcoin. Everything kind of went through that. Link did break out of it, but now it's all the way back in it, right? Whereas Bitcoin is kind of at the top, flirting with breaking slightly back into the accumulation range. Link is well into its accumulation range and has barely found support at the midpoint of the accumulation range. And for those of you subscribed, you'll know that the midpoint of any channel is kind of like the line in the sand. If you're above the midpoint, you're more bullish, you're more likely to go to the upside. If you're below the midpoint, you're more likely to go to the downside. So Link is flirting with being bearish because if it breaks down below that, it'll be that much more difficult to get back above. So if in fact Bitcoin does make it through and starts to go up again and tests the 50,000 region, I think Link would be a good trade because it's really distressed. It is below a lot of resistance, so be careful. You want to buy the breakouts, set your stops tight, but there's quite a bit of upside potential for Link here. At least, let's see. Let's say this was the first wave. Let's just do it just like Bitcoin. Let's say this was the first wave. The second wave came all the way down to 382. The third wave, you're looking at $37, which would give you at least $37, which would give you about a 23% increase. So that's a potentially good trade. But again, everything is contingent on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin happens to front run that, goes all the way up to 50 and gets rejected heinously like it did on the 7th, then all bets are off. Unlikely that Link will hit this target. So that's just how you think of trading. I think a safe way, you always have to look at the market mover, the market leader, what it's doing. And if you do get into any kind of trade, move your stops up above your entry point or below your entry point. If you're shorting above your entry point, just so that you're in profit, so you protect your capital, because this market is super capricious. Bitcoin's not going up all the time, nor is it going down all the time, nor does it go in a straight line. So you have to be very careful. When I say anything related to trading or I share setups, I always have to say responsibly that this is important. Risk mitigation is important. If you don't know how to do it, definitely research, look into how to set stops, how to trail stops, all that stuff. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.